Some players are not necessarily famous, but they leave a mark on TF2 and on the people around them. Ashwind was one of those players. You can ask anyone who played with him, and they will tell you that he was the kind of players who made TF2 feel like home. He was kind, he was fun, it was always a blast to play with him. A few months ago, Ashwind died of a disease, and we decided to all pay respect to him, all pay respect to such a kind person, because he was one of the nicest guys I met in about 10 to 12 years of TF2. And while the community and me included were shocked and sad to learn about his death, one individual didn't stay silent, but not for the good reason. He didn't stay silent because he celebrates the death of Ashwind. Let me be very clear. This video you're currently watching exists because of these words. Not just because he cheats, but because he's shown us who he really is.
So I wanted to record video about spawn camping, but the enemy team got mad by 2 letters and they start crying about my cheats, while trying to focus me.
5 seconds into the video and he had me cheating. Yeah, good job. But hey, maybe it was just too much bait. And maybe I will not find anything weird into that video. Yeah, no. Look at that. What an interesting profile of the spy. But hey, maybe it was just some luck. After all, we are just at 2 instances of cheating. Maybe, you know, just some luck. Let's go further. Interesting prey on soldiers that you didn't heard actually. Very interesting, considering Subaru was not pushing you and the other soldier retreat away, so you had no reason to put a trap here unless you knew that soldier was coming somehow. Here we have a profile on spy, and you can clearly see that you look at him through the wall, he had no keys placed, and the logic direction would have been to go for the soldier who was in the small house. But look at that, he profiles the spy perfectly without hearing his footstep either. Now that one might be a bit weird, but yeah, he had no reason to go back to spawn, and yet look at that, someone go back to spawn, meet a soldier, and boom, crit. In that one we have 2 instances of cheating. The first one is him looking directly at a sniper, 2 bolts, so yeah, Warlock. The second one is an auto death with his tickets, because he had no other cue. We were saying that the guy was going through the door and he didn't even look at it, and he got him. If it was only that, we could say it could be luck, but with all the precedent evidence, yeah, it's a bit obvious that we have an auto death. Now the last instance I found for that first video is him charging at a scout while not seeing him. So basically he charged a random corridor and magically a scout was there. Yeah, with all the previous evidence we can tell that it's basically a wall hack.
Forced to hide from Valve janitor rampage against cheaters and toxics.
Well, that's interesting. It's as if you had something to be afraid of. Something you wanted to hide. Surely, if you are legit and not cheating, you would be actually happy to know that Valve is actually banning bots and cheaters. And yet you choose to hide. Nah, it must be just a coincidence. Let's just go further into the video, shall we? There's nothing much to say on that one, just it's a crit hack, you target it on Ashwind. Now that one is a bit more interesting because we have a backtrack weapon twice. One on the scout and one on the soldier. For those who don't know, the backtrack allows you to hit previous hitbox of the player, so even if he go into a safe spot, if his hitbox was exposed a few seconds ago and you shoot it, the player will take damage. Well, in that clip we have an interesting Warlock and a trigger point. You can spot that by noticing how it turned and at no point he moves the camera to check around the corner. So yeah, Warlock, trigger point, fairly easy to spot. In that clip we have three things interesting. The first one is the prefire on the soldier, as if he barely see him yet he prefire. The second one is swapping to his shotgun for the heavy while he had no clue that the heavy was pushing. And finally, you can clearly see him snapping on the pyro at the end. So yeah, it's some good sense of aimbots and Warlock. You saw the snap? No? Okay, wait, let me slow it down. A snap, towards the wall, and a crit hack. Here we can see his camera shaking when he fights Ashwind, which is usually a result of him fighting the aimbot. And on the second clip we can see him tracking perfectly the barrel to the wall, as if he knew exactly where it was. You know, with a little Warlock. Now if you still wonder if that guy is a cheater or not, I will let you that one last clip. He was spy and got 2 crits back to back. In theory, it is possible, but the pistol or the revolver of the spy is not like the SMG, not like the minigun, and not like the short stop. So you can't fire continuous crits with it during few seconds. You have one instance of crit, and eventually you can have, if you're very lucky, another one. But considering all we saw before, I think it's more of a cheat than being lucky, you know? When you see this content on YouTube, you would imagine that he is someone who does the same type of content as I do. That it would be someone who would try to help others, to expose cheaters, to teach them some way to counter cheats. But in reality, he doesn't. He actually does the opposite of that. He tricks you with an anti-OBS feature used by cheat software to hide the cheats and make it look legit. He manipulates you to make you think he's a good player. And when you get caught by people, when you get exposed, he tried to flip the table. He tried to make himself look like the victim, make himself look like the person who is hurt, who is damaged by that. One good way to see that is his team history profile. On his current account where he is playing and where I spot him, we can see that he deleted 787 comments from his profile, which is a crazy amount of comments to delete. And if he deleted that much comment, it also means one thing. He tried to hide something. He tried to make himself look like someone who is nice, who is trustable, and honestly, no. When we look at what he did, when I look at what he posts on his community tab, I just want to make that video and to like expose him because he deserves it. And that's exactly why you're watching that video right now. Because that guy is a psychological and manipulative liar who uses others to try to benefit himself. He used the death of Ashwind to try to promote his video. That's just fucked up. And he will probably use that video to try to discredit me too, because yeah, he don't like me. He don't like the fact that, oh no, I spot him, and I tend to have a good memory of cheaters when I bump into them on 2 so it's fairly easy to recognize and to kick. And I think that's also why I named that video the way I named it. Because I think that guy is actually a second Venusian rapper. He is someone who is trying to hide the fact that he's cheating, but at the same time he tried to win people over his side, to win them, to show himself as a good guy. He spread lies and misinformations on people, misinformation on kind people, honestly. And yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. I will just throw the Steam history link into the comment section and into the description if you want to see them. And Robbie also made a video about that guy. It will be in the description. It is very complete, and feel free to go check it out after that one.
You won.
Yep.
Don't even have to try.